Hey, this is McGarren Flack with Art 1100 Design, 2D Design for non-majors. Welcome, and this time we're going to actually be working on abstraction and the assignment of abstraction. Now this is the digital portion of abstraction. You're just going to use the digital filters to be able to make it more abstract so that you can copy the image onto a piece of paper. So you don't necessarily have to follow these steps, but they just will help you see how to abstract shapes better with a certain reference. So let's get started. Go to File and open up a new image. So I'm going to go to Open and going to select this image. This was me out at the Salt Flats, I don't know, a long time ago, a couple years ago. Anyways, being a nice little mohawk. So anyways, just resize the image that you want. What we're going to do is I would prefer you work on a vertical format due to the way that you're going to create each of these images. We're going to resize or crop the image to 8 inches high and 2.5 inches wide. So to keep the same ratio aspect, we're going to go with the cropping tool over here, change our width to 2.5 and our height to 8. And the resolution is about 300. We don't need 300. We'll just go with 100. How's that sound? Okay, now when we click and pull down, it's going to keep that same aspect ratio, and we can just move and change it to where we want it. And that looks pretty good to me. So we take that, and off to the side, it's off of your screen, there's going to be a little check mark. Just check that mark and it will downsize it. So now we have that same aspect ratio. We go Control A, which highlights everything, Control C, which copies everything. We can go to File, New, and it will want to keep the same 2.5 by 8 inches at 100 DPI. Open that baby up. Now we have this open, and we can go Control V for paste. After we've pasted the image on there, there are a couple of different routes you can go. You can either open up a bigger, wider image so that it is, let's see, it'd be 12 inches wide by 8 inches high, or you can just take one image at a time and add another size on the width. So we're just going to be doubling the width. So I'll just show you one of the routes to do this. Of course, Photoshop has multiple different routes to be able to do this, but this is what we're first going to do. We're going to go with the image, and we're going to convert it. Go to Mode and Grayscale. Yes, I want to flatten it. Yes, I want to discard it. So now it's black and white. Because the image is black and white, to make it a little bit more simple, I'm going to increase the brightness and contrast. So I'm going to increase the brightness a little bit and the contrast, make it a little bit more simple for you viewers to see. The image looks much better that way anyways. So we have that figured out. Click back on layers to see exactly what we have going on here. We'll take the image or the layer and we'll flatten the image so it keeps that contrast. So we have this first section. We're going to go to Filter, Artistic, and then it is Cutout. There it is. So Artistic and Cutout. Let me shrink this down so you guys can see what I'm seeing. And the settings over here for the cutout need to be adjusted. So we're going to adjust the number of levels to 8. So number of levels all the way over to 8. We're going to do the edge simplicity to 0. And we're going to go to edge fidelity to, let's go with 3. I think that's the highest. Yeah, 3. So now we have this image that is simplified. Do you see how much more simplified that object is? Click OK. We still know what that image is, even though it's been abstracted a little bit. So we're going to go OK, clicked OK, so now it's applied the filter. Go to Save, or we can actually just open up a new one. Let's just open up a new one. So we'll go with New. Just double check our settings are right. Okay. This new one we have, we can go back on here, Control A, Control Copy, click back on this other section, Control V. So now we have this one that is normal, and then we click over to the next set and we go to Filter, Artistic, Cutout. So on the second portion of the cutout, we're going to adjust all the other levels. And we'll go to level 8 on the number of levels. Edge simplicity, we will go up to 10. And edge fidelity, we'll keep it at 3. So, do you see how much more simple it is created this image? Click OK. So we've gone from this image to this image. Go Control A, Control Copy, go to File, New, OK. So now we have 3. 1, 2. Going to the third one, we do Control V. Now we go to Filter, Artistic, and Cutout again. So easy. Now we decrease the levels to 4. And we keep that at 10. And edge fidelity to 2. Look at how much it has changed the image now. Click OK. So now we've gone from this image to this image to this image. And we go Control A, Control C, File, New, open it because it'll be the same size, Control V. Filter, Artistic, Cutout. And now with this guy, we are going to make the adjustments to 2 levels. We're going to have the edge simplicity stay up at 10 and edge fidelity down to 1. Click OK. So this is what the computer transitioned from. This image to this more simplified image to this more abstract image to this complete abstract image. What you're going to do is you can go to this first initial image, and we're going to deselect by clicking in there. We'll go to Image, Canvas Size, and we want to keep that anchor it. We want to anchor it to the left, so this image will stay on the left and it'll add to the right. And let's see, if we want to do this in multiples, well, let's just do percent. If we do the width 100%, that would just double it, 200%, so let's go with 400. Now we have the width that we need. Of course, you can do it with inches or whatever works best for you. I like to work in percentages. So we go back to here, the second one. We go Control Copy, go back to the first image, Control V for paste, and it has a new layer, so we just move that layer over here. Pretty easy. Go to this third image, Control Copy because it's already selected, go back to the first one, Control V, it locks into place. Now go back to this fourth image, Control A, Control C, go back to the first one, Control V. Now we move this over so it locks in place. So now I have all 4 progressing in an abstract fashion. Now what you're going to do is go to File, Save As, and I'm going to save it to the desktop. Oh, before we do that, we want to go to Layer, Flatten Image, so it's flat, so I'll save it as a small file, Save As. Now it's a JPEG. This will be Abstraction. Click Save and save it at the maximum. It's a pretty small file. So you're going to take this, because it was so easy to do digitally, you're going to take this and copy it to a piece of paper. You can actually print this out. So if you go to File and Print, it'll bring up how do you want to set the settings. You want to adjust it so it'll fit actual size on a piece of paper, and scales at 100%, so it's 8 by 10 inches. So you're going to copy each one of these as a drawing, and you're going to copy the values and the transitions just to see how it functions and how to interpret abstraction and change in shapes and the simplification of shapes. So once you have that done, you can go press print and you are done. Once you draw that, take a photo and then post it up in the discussion so other people can see it and critique what you have posted. So anyways, I hope that was clear as mud, and let me know if you have any questions, and have a stellar day.